This is going to be your weekly featured solo Grandmaster Nightfall video shortly after reset. The featured GM is South's Battleground Moon. The surges are Arc Surge, Void Surge, Solar Threat, Champions of Barrier and Unstoppable, Fire Pit, Chaff, and all the rest of the GM mods. Let's get the elephant out of the room and do the easy clear for people to follow along. As the week goes along, I can do more advanced clears for South's Battleground Moon, but for now, it's just turn reset. Let's just get a clear so that people can learn the rotations of ads and stuff like that in South's Moon. That's it. So this is just showing you how anyone can basically solo this very easily in actual fact. However, there's a twist to the run. There's a massive twist to it. Okay, so the build is Arc Titan, of course, Fists of Havoc, no need for T-Crash in this, Rally Barricade, Seismic Strike, Flashbang Grenade. Aspects was Storm's Keep, Knockout, Fragments, Wars, Spark of Shock, Resistance, and Frequency. I had Discharge on. You can take Discharge off and put something else on. I just forgot to take it off. Just put something else on, no problem. Okay, so I'm running it with a Hoyle build. What I would say is this was just my first clear of the week. If you want to run something else, here's your other options for exotics. Eternal Warrior is alright, but it's only just alright. Okay, you've got that as an option. Symphoseps is fantastic in this, but it seems though a lot of Titan loyalists don't want to run Symphos in 2025. But it's fantastic because of the buff it gives to your super. Hoyle is fantastic for cycling through abilities. That's what I used. What else would you use? Well, you wouldn't use Curious because you're not using T-Crash. You don't need T-Crash on for this. Crest of Alpha by my famous tank build. You can use that if you want to. Hazardous Propulsion is a good recommendation from me, and with my build it would have worked very well. If I redo this run, I will do it with Hazardous because of my build. It works very good with what I've got, the weapons. And you could have used Armentarium for double flashbang. Yeah, that is a thing. You could absolutely do that. That is a good thing. But I went with Hoyle. It was my first clear of the week. That was it. First clear, right after reset. Okay, so weapons-wise, we're using Tina's for Barrier and Unstoppable with Chill Clip. The exotic choice was Dragon's Breath because I'm not using an exotic primer like I would with Le Monarch. I'm not running Le Monarch. This is the twist to the run. I'm using the Banana SR4 Scout Rifle. Look at the Taken 5 shader on it. I'm not telling you the name of it. You'll have to ask me the shader for the details. And then I'll give you the details, but I'm not giving you it up front. I'm not going to just whine and dine you like that. Yeah? You ask me for the shader and then I'll give you the name, but you've got to ask. No, I'm not telling you it right away. Banana SR4, yep. D2 Vanilla Loyalists will remember this weapon. Beyond Light players won't have a damn clue what we're talking about, but this is the tutorial on how to get it. Tab twice to collections, go on to weapons, go on scout rifles, tab over twice, come down to this page here and reacquire. For one core 3000 glimmer, it's worth it, man. This gun hits so hard as well, incredibly well. Doom of Chelchis Loyalists will spawn at my location now that they've saw me use it. But the strength of a D2 Vanilla Guardian Veteran will impose the power of a Doom of Chelchis user very easily. Yeah? It's too strong of a weapon. It's got too much stylish points about it. You'll see the gameplay with it on how good it is. The build mods, so key points is a utility kickstart, procs ward, bomber, solar scavon to match weapons. The ideal resistances are arc, solar and concussive for this GM. Void loader was on, double balls from detonation, heavy ammo finder, void siphon, all the general stuff. Stat distributions focus on high resilience, high discipline, and then whatever else you want. Artifact mods was very simple. Here they are on screen. I had some enhancements. But yeah, I'm not going to go through all of it. Just, that's what my configuration for artifact mods was. But there you go. There's your information. Now on with the run. Okay, so this is going to be the base run for the entire week, just to set a foundation with everybody on where the ad spawns, what to do, where to be, where to stand, the mechanics of PsyOps, and how to make this notably harder GM than other GMs easier. Because it's actually not too bad. Right, first thing, because I've got a scout rifle on and I'm playing with the banana gun, I'm going to play from more rangy type distances because it just plays into the entire build of, playing from a range with a scout and having a good time, etc. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. To take note, I'm on Path of Ambition, so if I ever consume a sigil stone, I will get a double damage bonus. You know, it's nice to have because the sigil stones will pop when you say, oh, this is actually really useful at times, and you'll see that happen. Okay, so I'm just going to use Manannan to take care of the barrier champ because I'm getting barrier rounds, of course. I'm going to use a DB shot, Dragon's Breath. Yeah, and it's really good on champs. Dragon's Breath's very good on barrier champs. It's very good on unstartables, and it's good at locking down zones for ad clear. Yeah, it's probably the best rocket launcher in the game is Dragon's Breath. Yeah, it probably is. Okay, I'm going to get a super here. I'm going to get a shoulder charge and then my super. Do a massive damage there. I think I picked up a sigil stone there, so I was getting double damage. That is the first wave done. Once you do that, you're going to fight from this corridor here. So I'm going to get a DB shot on that unstop as soon as I can to try and do some good ad clear and some assistive damage to the champ. Look at the amount of damage we're doing here with DB plus bolt charges. So this worked out really good. So what I would say, oh, we've got a light guardian here. I forgot about him. So he's weak and I haven't got super yet. So I'm stalling. Look at this barricade. That's how confident I am on a Titan. To know that I can face to face with a guardian like that, a hive guardian, and then just pop a barricade right before his shield. Make sure that you use a super on this phase. So when you kill the hive guardian, use a super to crush the ghost. That's why we have Fist of Havoc on for moments like this. This is exactly why you don't need Thunder Crash in this run at all. I'll talk more about as it goes on. Unstartable and some barriers have spawned in, but Fraw will spawn as well. I get weak here from overcommitment. I'm trying to aim my DB shot. But spam DB on this section. You can quite spam it because you are going to get a lot of heavy back off this zone. Okay, get a stun here with Tina's on this unstop. So I'm isolating the unstop away from the barrier because the unstop's being the section, you know, the part here that's being the most threatening section. Take care of the unstop. Now I'm going to start dealing with this barrier if I can, but there is a Thrall. There's a wave of Thrall coming, so I need to melt this barrier down before these Thrall and things come. I've got a super to burn. So I'm going to just do that. May as well on this phase of ads because there's no champs for now. For the next 20 seconds at least. So it's a good time just to do some good ad clear. Look. Fist of Havoc is well worth it on an Arc Titan, especially the sandbox that you're in. You get it 3 times quicker than T-Crash. And T-Crash is a one and done and super. And do you see a dungeon or a raid boss in this GM? Let me know if you do because I don't see one. So there's no need for T-Crash, is there? T-Crash is a burst style super. I think Fist of Havoc is much more applicable as a GM super. Yeah, you've heard it here first. It's actually better as a super for GMs because it's lower cooldown. Pick the lower cooldown. Not just that though. You're getting super armor resistance because you're in your Fist of Havoc super. It's viable for so many things. And I'll mention it out every time that we come up to a moment where Fist, was loyal for me. Okay, so this unstop's gotten out of hand a little bit. I'm just going to come down here. And I'm going to get rid of the barrier, I think. Oh, but we get a Zealous Curse for all there. Got to be careful of those Zealous Banes. We'll prime the barrier champ with a DB shot first. But look what happens. Surprise, we get another barrier that's there. I didn't know he was there, so we'll take care of what happened. We ended up losing ammo because of that, but it didn't matter for the run per se. But the right call was to stop engaging with the barrier from a distance and engage with the one that's threatening, the one that jumped down and surprised me. Now this barrier and unstartable is the last 2 champs that we kill for this zone, and that is your starting section done. It should take you no more than 6 minutes. On an Arc Titan, yeah, you should be doing it in 5 minutes, maybe less than 5, if some of you really optimize this first section. But yeah, it's pretty simple, straightforward, look. Not too difficult, very easy. So, difficulty for the starting section, it's not that much. Pick up the ammo pack and then run along. What I did not foresee happening is that Dragon's Breath is bugged on the packs. or should I say not just DB, but a whole host of heavy weapons, and not regenerating full heavy after an ammo pack from a Battleground or PSYOP GM. Don't know why this is, it's a mini bug, but I have 10 rockets anyways, and there was plenty of rocket ammo on the floor because of heavy ammo finder. That's why heavy ammo finder is so good. That's why you will always see me use heavy ammo finder in GMs. It's well worth it to use. It's even more worth it than super regen perks. Like, you know, Ashes to Assets, Hands On. You don't need that stuff because there's no critical moment where you definitely need a super for a definite fixed time, because you'll have it anyways, because you're killing all the ads. So we get a blind with the suppressor on the wizard, and then we use super. The goal here is to clear all of the ads and the bane, whatever bane it might be. It might be a zealous, it might be a drain. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. Super. This is a good time to super. Don't sit on supers. Don't be a blueberry titan taking them supers to orbit. Don't do it. Right, get your first dunk off the wizard. That'll be one burden of 12. This is the tribute room. This is exactly how you can easily beat the tribute room. No fuss, no messing. It's actually really easy, but you've got to remember the ad spawns, and that's the difficulty in it. Once you've learned the ad spawns and the manipulations, very easy. First goal is take care of the unstoppable champion in any means that you want. DB, Teeners, bolt charges, but stand at this location, because the unstop is the priority. It's a priority system in actual fact. It goes unstop, barrier, thrall, then wizard. And there's a priority system to each mini encounter that I actually sort of use. And you want to do that priority system by what's the most threat to you right now at this moment, and do it as a process like that. So, you know, unstop first, barrier second. Then it is the lackluster ads that are left and right, although there's no thrall on this phase, but there is on the latter phases. So I'm going to use my amplify buff, get a blind on one of the wizards, and then super. This is a good time to do a super again. You're going to get plenty of them, so you may as well use it. What I failed to do here is I sort of mini forgot. I should have killed 2 wizards, not 1. But that's fine. Actually, no, I've got it right. I tell a lie, I've got it right, don't listen to me. You want to dunk 1 tribute there, and this is very important. This will spawn in 1 Hive's Guardian. He's solar. He can spawn right or left. It's RNG, but that does not matter. This is a manipulation technique. If you dunk 2 tributes, so you're on 3, this will not work exactly the same. Whereas if you dunk 1 tribute, it will work. What I mean is I am baiting the Solar Hive Guardian to the stairs. This is specifically done with the 1 tribute dunk strat. So you have 1, what's 1 plus 1? 2. So you should be on 2. And then the tribute bearer will always push. I've tested it in prior weeks. I know that this works every time. Don't tell me that it doesn't, because it does. I've means tested this stuff. I'm a D2 GM scientist, man. I've got numbers and figures to back it up. Right, get the crush on the Guardian. You can kill him easily, no super required. Just DB, Teeners, bolt charges, and you can see how the stair strat for the first Hive Guardian is easily done. But the goal is to dunk 1 tribute, because you need to know when the tribute bearers spawn, the Solar Guardians. 1 dunks on the 2nd tribute, 1 dunks on the 3rd tribute. So you're going to get another Hive Guardian on tribute number 3. See how we've separated 1 tribute, 1 Hive Guardian to the next. Whereas, if you have 2 Hive Guardians spawn at the same time, they will not push you, and they will be a nuisance, and it will change the whole dynamic of this room. This is so critical to get down and dialed in that you want to do the 1 dunk at a time on the first phase. It's split into 3 phases. 4, 8, 12. That's your phases. That's how I sort of decipher the room, because at every phase you'll get extra champs. That's how I'm deciphering it. Yeah. So at 4, so when we get to 4 dunks, that's phase 1 of this room done, because it's 4 dunks per statue, and it's statue mid, left, and right. Okay. So now I need to prioritize getting the final burden on this final phase. There's no more champs, of course, but you can easily get a tribute from a distance. Make sure you're amplified. Look, see how amplified's stopping that wizard from hitting me? When you go and run for a moat from the stairs, get amplified first with your barricade bolt charges, then run. The ad will not hit you because you're amplified, less likely to. When you dunk your fourth burden, a damn shrieker spawns in mid. You go to the stairs. Your stairs is your strat. Most consistent strat for this room, by all means. Although on phase 3 it changes, the dynamic changes, because then you need to start dunking on left and right. The positionings change, so pay attention as we go along. These runs are designed for you to watch the entire run, then you go and do your run. Don't watch 10 minutes and then go and do your run and then die and then come back to me and complain that you died. That's your fault. You need to watch the entire run. I'm putting the time into it, then you put the time into it as well, so that you can watch the run and know everything. You've got hindsight then, because you watch the run, you know where to stand. The run is consistent. It's really easy on this build. You're fine. Look, we kill the Hive Guardian on the right-hand side after Shrieker. So when you get your Shrieker killed, that's what the super's there for. Even if your Hive Guardian is weak, still super him. It's consistent to crush the Ghost. It means you can tank damage in your super while you crush the Ghost. This makes everything consistent. This is exactly why you should not run Thunder Crash. And Thunder Crash is the most popular super in the game for Titans. I know because I've looked the stats up, so I know what yous are doing and where yous are. I know all sorts of things. And it shouldn't be, though. T-Crash is a particular super for particular needs, but if you don't have Thunder Crash needs, why would you use it? Yeah, it's not getting the buff that Fist does. Fist of Havoc gets a whole host of buffs. It has never been more appetizing than now to run Fist of Havoc. It's probably in its best spot that it's been since 2017. Revel in it. You should be loving that, Titan mains. I remember in 2017 first using Fist of Havoc for the first time ever, and it was incredibly good. Especially with pulse grenades, we were in a pulse grenade meta and stuff. It was incredible. Well, 2025, it's sort of similar to that now. Pulse grenades do good, flashbang grenades do good. Fist of Havoc is incredible damage, actually. And, we're in GMs, don't forget. This is endgame content. This is no planet content. GMs. And, it's doing really well. Okay, so on this dunk, it doesn't really matter how you do it. From 4 tributes to 8, it doesn't really matter. Just basically keep cycling your wizards. But when you do get to 8 dunks, make sure that you start to back up to the stairs immediate, because you're going to have a Shrieker in mid. Stay to the outskirts of the map so that the Shrieker does not open up, because he will kill you when you dunk your 8th tribute. You will also get champions again, barrier and unstop, back to the stairs. Now it's a priority system, same again. Unstop first, barrier second, Thrall third, Shrieker fourth, and then you go along it, and then it's wizards. This is how you control the room, making it easier. And this can be done on all classes. This positioning where I'm standing can be done on Hunter, Warlock, Titan, the 4th secret class in D2 that was meant to be and never shown. You can do it on anything, right? It's not really what you're using then at that point, because you already know what's coming. If you know what's coming and you know where the ads are spawning, then you're good. The difference is time. If you do a Hunter run, yeah, all right, and it's on a bad class, okay, it's going to be longer. If you do a Warlock run, a Warlock's actually very good in Psyops. Warlock and Titan are very good in Psyops. Hunter's good in Psyops, but only on prismatic builds. It's exclusive to prismatic builds. I make a mistake here. I forgot to do my priority system. So I've been just yelling at you about priority systems, and I forgot to follow my own system. So I had to pop super to survive, because I know the Shrieker will kill you in a super. I know it didn't look threatening, but it is. So yeah, I forgot. So it's a waste of a super. That's my biggest mistake of the run. If there was a mistake in a run, there it is. Right there. If you pay attention to my runs, there's often 1 or 2 occasions in runs where I'll make a mistake and I'll know that I've made one. And that was it. But yeah, Shrieker first. Well, Thrall, then Shrieker. I'm actually going to Dragon's Breath the Shrieker. I should have used more heavy in this room. I didn't use that much. But when I do use it, it's damn effective. I used it on the champs. I used it on the Hive Guardians. I should have used more DB on Wizards. That's actually what I should have done. The problem is, though, when you rocket a Wizard, they dodge your rockets. They're prone to doing that. Yeah, so that's the only issue. I've got a module in middle, a tribute in middle, I think, but I need to super mid. On the 8th tribute dunk, you need to clean middle up. You do that by, guess what? Fists of Havoc. Fists of Havoc. Now, if that was a T-Crash super, how would that have played out? Think about it. I would have T-Crashed middle, probably killed the Knight and the Wizard, but then the ads would have cleaned me up right after and killed me. The overcommitment of T-Crash supers, the amount of people that I see die in LFG because they run T-Crash is incredible. I see it all the time. I'll see a Titan, he T-Crashes in mid, he thinks he's pleasantly surprised with what he's did, and then he gets cleaned up right after his T-Crash because he loses super armor. Whereas I'm sitting pretty in LFG with Fist of Havoc, melting all the ads and not dying in runs. Yeah, I do LFG runs. I haven't done some for the last 2-3 weeks, but when I do them, I do them, yeah. And I can tell you, if I'm on Striker Titan, I still run Fist. And I can guarantee you, chances are, I help teams and help them survive. And make sure, like if I'm Last Guardian standing in LFG run, no problem. I'll pop my Fist and revive both Guardians and it's no problem. This is where you need to stand on the final phase, and you will get Ogres. Be careful of that. The Ogres, though, they weren't really pushing me on this run, and I was confused about that. But what I need to do is get my final Wizard to be killed, and I want Super to do it. So what you can do is farm a Super up, right, to cap your final burden, and then dunk with a Super for damage resist. See? So easy, so good. Look, pop Super, boom, I ignore all these ads, and I can just dunk my final 2 tributes. Ogres will despawn, but Acolytes will not despawn. So you need to use Amplify buff and run away. This is when you want to do an ammo check. I'm full on heavy. I'm full on special. I know that there's an ammo pack in this room at the start somewhere. There is. I didn't need it though, did I? The goal was just to run away from the Acolytes because they don't despawn for some reason. And that would mean you would have to fight them. That's a waste of time. You don't want to do that. Alright, so we're just running through with speed booster. Be careful on this bit. Shriekers spawn up. When unstoppable champions are killed, infinite Shriekers spawn. If you stand at the back of the map. You're not allowed to stand at the back of the map. But you don't need to. I'm just giving you an extra tip. The goal is to save this Cabal guy. We want this Cabal ally to be alive. I actually like him to be alive. So I want to melt these unstops with DB Tinas. Which that's good. So look, we've kept him alive, but he does get melted in the end. So yeah, push up on this phase. Do not stand too far back. Shrieker will spawn on your back and kill you instant. I've seen so many team wipes that way. Be careful of the Shrieker at the back of the map. And you can't fight from there because the Shrieker will keep respawning, so don't do it. Push up so far. This is the location where you want to fight from. No further back than this. I mean, look, we're at Scout Rifle range as it is, so you wouldn't need to stand any further back than this, really, to be honest. Keep popping your barricades, and I'm going to use a bit of DB on the boss. I'm doing a little bit of a damage check, seeing what damage it does to the boss. I'm doing a bit of that. But yeah, I'm going to get rid of these wizards and stuff, may as well. Also, you're allowed to use super and ammo, all ammo, I believe. You're going to get it all back. When you do your banner at the boss, you'll get ammo and super back, right? I believe you get ammo back. I hope so. I think you're doing psyops. I think it's ammo as well. Well, we'll soon see. Because I can't even remember on the run. Okay, I'm going to use a super. I'm going to jolt the boss because my flashbang blinds and jolts because of the fragment. So I've jolted the boss and I'm using my fist. Doing decent damage. It's doing alright. You need to send the boss away. Send the boss away, of course. Boss is still alive. There's an Acolyte still alive as well. Just get rid of him. Yeah. And that's that bit done. Really simple, really straightforward, just sending the boss away. I could have optimized and done that a bit quicker and just entirely focused on the boss. Yes, I could have. But, you know, it's here or there. That's how you do that little bit. Okay, so you're going to get sent to this section. And this is the final boss fight. So we're 20 minutes in, 21 minutes in, final boss fight. Let's just advise you the position and details on PsyOps and how you should definitely play this. Now, I'd done my run a few weeks ago, didn't I, of this build? And that run wasn't that... It was a scruffy run. This one isn't a scruffy at all. I dial in, I lock in on this run, and I do the strats how you should play this fight. Okay, the first phase you want to fight on left-hand side. This is the absolute best place to fight from. I've got a pulse nade on my location. The boss done a damn fantastic pulse nade. You've got to be careful of those. Them pulse nades can wipe you. I get a hypernova here. Okay, I need to melt with chill clip. I'm taking my time, but I do get that hypernova. I could have wiped there. I was a second away from wiping. I was quite lucky. Okay, so yeah, you just want to fight from here. If there's knights to your left and right, get rid of them for sure if you can, but they keep it hiding. But ultimately, you're doing your damage. This is where you do your boss damage from. Don't be frightened to use your super. You're going to get plenty of cooldowns. So if you want to keep supering the boss in mid, then coming back to this location, that's entirely something that you should be doing. You're very tanky in Fist of Havoc. You're very tanky. I don't know what it is. There's some culture problem with Roman supers and guardians in 2025. I don't know what that culture problem is, but there is one where people just seem to think, oh, I can't run this super in GMs. Yeah, you can. Roman supers have come a long way since you probably last used them. They're much, much better now than what they ever have been in a long time. So don't be frightened to be using any damn Roman super. You should be. It does a good job of clearing ads. I've got double damage. I consume a sigil. This is why I come in the middle. I consume a... Look at that slam damage. I'm not going to do entirely damage on the boss though. I want to thin the room. Because these ads are maybe not a problem now, but they will be a problem on spear phase. So make sure that whilst, yes, you have the ability to melt the boss down, but that's not the entire IQ play that you should be making. You should be then thinking about, hang on a sec, some of these Boomer Knights are going to cause me a problem and could cause you a wipe. They could cause you a wipe. So thin the room, get rid of the Acolytes. Get rid of the... Acolytes are threatening in this because of Solar Threat. Literally they are. So yeah, thin the room a little bit. You're also going to get Barrier and Unstoppable on this phase, but they really were weird for me for some reason. This is exactly where you should fight from though, right here. Just be careful of solar nades, but this is exactly where you should fight from. I was just trying to bait the Unstop and Barrier champ over here, and generally they come over here, but they didn't in this run. I don't know why. They do end up doing that, just not right away. Look, the Unstop's there, but the Unstop's like being weird. He's hanging out in middle more often than I've seen in the past. That's having that Unstop. He's trying to coax me into middle, and I don't want to go middle. But I could technically go mid. Yeah, Acolytes will hijack you. They will ambush you, round those steps. So even though you can fight from here, 2 or 3 Acolytes will try to do that. Barrier champ walks up the stairs. I've never seen this. Never ever seen this before. He walks upstairs and I'm thinking, at the time, is that Barrier going to come round these stairs as well? That's what I was thinking at the time. It was like, hang on a sec, that's something different. That didn't happen, and I was like freaked out by it. But so actually, yeah, I'm gonna go and stun this Unstop in middle with fists. Because I'm like, you know what, I'm sick of the Barrier champion, all these champs messing me about. So I just super mid. Procs wards helps you overshield as well, so get your finisher kill on that champ. Always make sure you have your exit strategy when you're using a Roman super. Always have 20%, 15% super regeneration left to shoulder charge out of danger. Once you follow that tip, you're good. We get a Hypernova here. I need to get rid of the Hypernova. The Barrier starts to behave himself. Finally, Barrier's behaving. That's exactly what he's meant to do. The aspect of Savathun cannot kill you from here. Well, he can. You've just got to be mindful of the arc attack and the blasts. And be mindful, if you pop a barricade and the boss does blast you with the arc attack, jump away from your barricade because you will die quicker. Right, going into middle, you want to get your spear, and yeah, you want to make sure that you time when you go into mid. Now, I'm going to speed the footage up from here, but because, you know, it takes a while killing the boss with the spears. But what I will tell you is on the first aspect, it wasn't too much of a problem. Make sure that you're amplified when you're running into mid. You can easily do that by just popping your barricade. Be mindful when you're going into mid with the acolytes. Oh, the aspect spawns on my location. That is weird. That was weird. So pay attention onto that. That can happen. The arc attack, by the way, is every 10 to 15 seconds. It's not every 10 seconds. Generally, it is 10 seconds, but not every single time. Sometimes the boss does do other things other than that attack. The arc attack will wipe you in this. That is the biggest threat. So the goal is, look, boss does his arc attack, then you pick up the spear. That's safe to go into mid. It's not every time 10 seconds. Sometimes it is every 10 seconds. Sometimes it might be 15 seconds. But the goal, don't worry about it. The only goal is, once the boss does the attack, you run to mid with amplified buff, you pick up the spear, boom, easy. Easy picking up the spear means that you won't die. This is where people are going to die, definite. I've played too much LFG, PsyOps, Battleground GMs to know this is where people definitely die when they're picking up the spears. But you just need a little bit of know-how, just a little bit of, you know, common sense with the arc attack. Do not go into mid. If that boss has not done its attack, you do not go into mid. Because if you go into mid at the wrong time, the boss will blast you with its Stormcaller and then you die to the arc attack. Okay, so now on this phase, it's same thing. Same thing as phase 1. You just do your damage from left-hand side. That's literally it. Same rules apply. Every time you get a super, go and use it. You know, you can definitely go and do that. You know, maybe do a bit of bolt charges first and have a look at your surroundings before you go and do your super. But by all means, you know, super the boss. Don't be frightened to do it. There's a lot of Titans out there for some reason frightened to do it. No, just go and super the boss. You're right. You're fine. You've got DR. You've got damage resistance. You may as well. It's on a short cooldown. By the time you use it, come back, do a bolt charge rotation, you get it back. You know, so you may as well. And it thins the room. It thins the room. Okay, so I'll just do a super here on the boss. There's an Arc Knight in middle still. But yeah, boss is just about done. I'm going to start using a bit more DB. I was like, oh yeah. I was having that much fun with Manannan. I forgot, oh yeah, I've got Dragon's Breath on. Dragon's Breath does incredible damage for us on this. So DB done really well in this. And I can only say, just imagine what this would have been like with Hazardous Propulsion. It would have been very good. It's what I should have equipped. But, you know, I didn't want to redo the run right now. Because at that reset, what you must know about YouTube is that reset, that 2 to 3 hour period after reset is very important for YouTube content. If you miss that window, you will only get worse views. It does not matter how good your run is. You will just get less views because less people are on it. You know, less people are on this game on a Wednesday afternoon. Less people are on this game on a Monday afternoon. But there are some special days, like I'm saying, your Tuesday reset is a holy mecca time for YouTube. It's dead important. Even if there's nothing going on, it's still the most important time. Because that's the amount of people, that's maximising the amount of people that's going to be on YouTube at that point. So it's more important at sometimes just to upload the run that you have rather than doing another run, because another run's going to set you back 40 minutes or 30 minutes. Not just 30 minutes though, because then there's commentary to do on the run. Then there's the thumbnail to edit on the run. Then there's all these extra processing times. I know you, the viewer, don't care about it, but you have to care about it a little bit because you need to know about the processes. You can't just say, well, I'm a viewer, I don't care about that stuff. Well, you care about the runs. You want good runs off me. Well, Here's sometimes why we don't redo a run, because we've already got to clear anyways. And then as the week goes along, we can do more advanced clears that are non-meta and, off meta or, stuff like that. But right now, what's the most important thing? Advising people how to do the solo on it. That is the most important thing. Not me running white weapons in this. That's not important. Not right now, it's not. For example, I'm just giving you an example. Okay, so how you deal with the double aspects. This is the hardest part of the run, and I have not sped it up because this is very important information. This is the hardest part of the entire GM, and you need to multitask the aspects. The goal is to melt down the left aspect, not the right one. If you do any damage to the right aspect at all, the aspect will push you crazy. So do not damage that right aspect at all to get this trick to work. Although it's not much of a trick, it does give you a saving grace, but it's not that much of a trick. As you can see, you can still die there. Yeah, so you've got to be very cautious with that damn spear. And if you're at any point going to die, you teleport. Use the L1 ability with the spear to teleport out of danger. Use the spear for ad clear if you must. Yeah, now notice that the aspects get more aggroed the lower their HP. The thing about it is, though, the left aspect can never go to right-hand side. Therefore, the right spear is the one to pick up whilst not doing any damage to the right Savathun at all, ever. You need to follow this bit one for one. If you do anything else other than what I've done, you've probably done it wrong and you have a high chance of probably dying in your run. You're then going to comment on my video and complain that you died. That's not my fault. You didn't follow the advices of the video. Look, if I watch a video from somebody else that I don't know about something, I will watch their entire video. And if I did not follow their advices and I die, that's my fault, isn't it? So let's not blame the person who made a video about it if the viewer didn't watch the entire run. Crazy, man. If you're into a topic of Destiny 2, of something in the game, watch the entirety of the video. Why not? You're doing yourself a favour. As long as the content creator is giving you good information and he's giving you moment-to-moment information, wherever it might be, then watch it. Everybody's got time for people. You've got 10-15 minutes to spare extra, more than what you would. Of course you have. People watch stuff at work, on the breaks and stuff. Or even when they're on the job. Of course you do. You can make time for things. Once you make time for things, though, you save time in the end, because your run will be much more better. That's how these videos are designed. Is so that you watch the run first, in its entirety, for the most part. Or if you're more of an intermediate player, you'll watch the parts that you need to make your run more successful and extra tips. That's why there's timestamps. Although I don't timestamp too heavily nowadays. Not like I used to. I used to timestamp like every single, timestamp Acolyte 52 killed, timestamp, next timestamp 53 Acolyte killed. I ain't doing that for you. I'm not babying you too much with the timestamps. I'll give you the build part and then the run part. People know how to skip to different parts of the run. I'm not going to baby you too much with timestamps. I used to baby people with timestamps, but it was like, yeah, it's not worth it. Just give them the run. They know what to skip and what to watch, or they should do. So look how the second aspect was very easily to kill. Once the left aspect is killed, you can pick up the left spear and kill the right aspect. Very easy at that point. Then you're on the final phase. You're done. Congrats, GG. That's it. Once you get past double aspects, this run is then done. Now, I've got 10 rockets, so I'm going to spam all my DB here. It's actually very good on ad clear. If you've got boomerites to your right and your left, just hit them with a rocket. So, people have been running Le Monarque a lot this season, and so have I. But I've come to the realisation over the last 2 weeks, you don't need to run Le Monarque. What do you need to run it for? Le Monarque is just a goal for you to get more bolt charges out. Well, any Void Primary will do that, technically. So, I know Le Monarque's meta, and it is. But in a GM, it's kind of a waste of an exotic slot in a sense. Because think about it, I'm using a D2 vanilla scout rifle and I'm getting similar payouts to what Le Monarque would do. Isn't that crazy? And the upshot is I get to run DB, one of the best rocket launchers in the game. And you could take this to a step further. You could run Sleeper Simulant, Queenbreaker Bow, any exotic heavy that you like using. 1K Voice is actually kind of good in the game now, although people don't like to use it, but it is. But I'm just saying that you can sort of buildcraft a little bit further. You don't have to always use Le Monarque on a Bolt Charge Titan. On a Bolt Charge Titan, even if you use a white weapon, you're going to get bolt charges. So look, you can use what you want really, but try and use a Void Primary. And I thought it was a cool time to use Manannan. I had plans to use Manannan at some point. And I figured, you know what, Silas Battleground is a very long range GM. I may as well just use it now here today. And that's what I was going to do. But yeah, get the boss one shot. Don't kill boss from a range, because that means you won't be able to crush the shell, the ghost. So I'm going to get amplified buff. I'm going to pop super, and then I'm going to kill the boss with my Fist of Havoc. That allows me to kill boss and crush ghost safely without dying. Whereas a T-Crash could die right after they use it. But yeah, that was a solo GM on PsyOps. This is your base clear of the week. This is your base foundational knowledge for the week, so that you're aware of everything that goes on in the GM. Once you've got a foundational knowledge, you can start experimenting with other stuff that you wouldn't think of experimenting with. But for now, let me just get the base information out there for people to show them how to solo this. This was the run on this. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.